What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Sports and entertainment.
I've been running my own business for 30 years.
What is your net worth?
On paper, it's close to about 500 million.
What has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
$34 million.
What's your secret to selling in a competitive industry?
Why do you think most people struggle at sales?
I don't think they believe in themselves.
That's a good answer, because that's part of it. And then that lack of belief causes them not to work hard.
Stop partying. Stop worried about what everybody else is doing. Stop trying to have shit you can't afford. Get busy and get to work and have a plan that makes sense.
Number 1.
But I have a very special surprise for you guys right now. We are at SoFi Stadium, the home to the Los Angeles Rams and the Los Angeles Chargers, to interview David Meltzer, who is a 9-figure Los Angeles entrepreneur. He invited us out to the stadium to ask him some questions. So with that being said, let's go get some game from David and see what he has to say. What industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Sports and entertainment.
And how long have you been in the business for?
35 years.
Over these last 35 years, what has been the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
$34 million.
$34 million. And what happened that year that you were able to make over $30 million?
Real estate boom. Yeah. Real estate doubled. Right. And so all the real estate that I had doubled in 1 year. And ironically, what follows a great increase follows a great decrease. And it was just a few years later that I lost over $100 million.
That's incredible. What happened that year that you lost $100 million?
I learned that lesson, ask for help. So I had a huge line of credit at my private bank. And in 2008, when I needed about $5 million, even though I had a $40 million line of credit, very quickly I realized when I walked in and they said, hey, nobody told you have a cap of $1 million line, you got to reapply. And in 2008, it was much more difficult to get the lines of credit that were necessary. And so when you have a huge economy, an economy that can afford you $30-some million in 1 year, things move very fast. And that's how I ended up losing everything. If I just would have asked for help from someone that actually knew financing, knew banking, I could have really done well, and I'd be sitting in an entirely different situation now. I lost everything and made it back, but I would have had about 10 times as much if I just would have asked for help.
What's the number one mistake you see business owners make?
They don't know the golden rule of business, which is stay in business. See, the first rule that I have every day, and I have the biggest waiting room in the history of waiting rooms. There are about 65,000 seats in my waiting room, so things are going well. But the reason they're going well is because I have one rule: make sure I'm in business tomorrow. And so once I started following that directive, I'll never go out of business, because I'm not going to sleep until I guarantee I'm in business tomorrow. Everything else is gravy, because I know if I stay in business, sooner or later, if you learn to love what you don't love or don't like, if you learn to love what other people don't love or like, if you do it consistently and persistently every day, life and business will tell you all its cheat codes. It'll tell you all its secrets. And when you know the secrets, this game is easy, but you got to be in the game, so you got to guarantee that you're playing the game, which is why the number one rule in business is to make sure every day you stay in business.
Among yourself and the most highly successful people that you study and know, what is that one trait that they all have in common?
Consistency. It's a simple skill, but the simple things to do are unfortunately simple not to do. You see, people that do things every day allow for the physics, metaphysics, and quantum physics to work in their favor. If you do something every single day, it accelerates, it aggregates, and it creates exponentiality of outcomes. Consistency is the number one habit. It's actually the habit machine of habits, but you have to be consistent. In fact, 2 minutes a day is worth 2 hours on a Saturday.
Break that down. Why is that?
Energy is behavior, and so is money, for example. So even as far back as Einstein, when he explained the rule of 72, compounding of interest is really compounding of energy. See, energy has three characteristics. It aggregates, it attracts like energy, it accelerates so things happen faster, but most importantly, it creates compound interest. It creates exponentiality. So people that are not utilizing that consistency, they get 1 + 1 + 1 every day. Those people that understand the physics, quantum physics, and metaphysics get 1 + 2 + 4 + 8 + 16 each day.
I love it. Phenomenal.
Number 2.
All right, you guys, we are currently at a private jet airport out here in Miami, Florida. There's some flights landing in right now. I'm gonna go up and see if we can find a way to get in and talk to some of these private jet owners to figure out what they were able to do to afford private jets out here in Miami, Florida. As you guys can see, signature flight support. We gotta find a way in here, man. There's jets coming in every minute, so we gotta see what they have to say. Come on. All right, you guys, my guy just landed in a private jet and he's off. I'm gonna go up and see what he was able to do to be able to afford a private jet out here in Miami. Let's see what he has to say. Excuse me, sir. Quick question for you, man. Is this your jet?
Yeah, of course it's my jet.
And what do you do for a living to be able to afford a private jet out here in Miami, Florida?
I've been running my own business for 30 years.
Actually.
Actually, I wouldn't lie to you.
And over these 30 years, what's the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
Tens of millions of dollars. I mean, I've had sales in excess of 100 million for companies I've run and exited successfully.
I go all over the country just asking business owners their advice to young entrepreneurs. Is it cool if we ask you a few questions for the channel?
100%, dude. You got courage to ask questions, I will answer them. We can go right on here if you want.
Is that cool?
100%.
Let's run it.
Let's do it. Come on.
At one of your businesses, like, what was the most that you made in a single year?
Best year I've had was last year, and we did 752 million in rev for the year in 23.
As a multiple nine-figure entrepreneur, what has been the best financial advice that you ever received?
You know who Arthur Blank is?
Very familiar.
Okay. I was at a meeting 14 years ago, and I was making some money and trying to figure some stuff out, and he asked if anybody had any questions. And what's weird about people is they don't have no questions. Dude, if you leave me in a room with somebody doing better than me, I will ask them questions for like literally until they have to tell me to shut up. So I'm asking him some questions, and he's answering. Nobody else is asking questions. And I said, sir, if you could give me one advice on why you're able, because at the time we were talking about Home Depot. Why are you able to launch Home Depot into such an amazing company? He said, first of all, every business opportunity I looked at, I made sure that I always fed my business, right? I didn't want to starve it. He said, in Home Depot, while I knew we were going to have very small margins, and I knew it would take a while to make money, once we started making money, a little bit of a lot would have been like more than enough. We'd had no problem. So he started talking about that concept. And I started to learn patience from a lot of these guys. And then I had a guy who's a billionaire 10, 12 times over. And he said, take every business opportunity, approach it like a three-legged stool. I said, okay, what does that mean? He said, every decision you make, any decision you're making, has to be great for your client or your consumer. Second, it has to be great for your agent or your employee, your independent contractor, your consultant. Okay, I said, what's third? He said, it can't harm the company. He said, but that'll take patience, because most people run their business where they make every decision that's great for them. Whatever scraps are left, but they don't tend to be sustainable because other guys are doing it your way. In the life insurance deal, even though we did that kind of rev last year, dude, the first 3 years, I wasn't paying myself a lot. And a lot of people get into business to get rich right away. I got into business to get free, and I knew eventually I'd become wealthy. Rich, you could say you make 400 grand a year, you're rich. I wanted to not worry about money. That's been the best business lesson I've ever learned, because most people get into business, and after about 60, 90, 120 days, 2 years, they're frustrated. You know, everybody used to always say, what's the first rule of business? Stay in business. First couple of years, but everybody says it's a grind until they're in it. And then they're like, I can't buy that $400,000 car. And it's like, okay, Tommy, welcome to the real world. And I'm always like, dude, I don't know. I ran my business. I ran it. I took business advice from people that were in a better place than me. But personally, anybody around me that was talking, I wouldn't listen to nothing. I mean, if people are weighing you down, dude, you get the anchor off. Like if you're a good swimmer, if you can't swim and you jump in the water, I will jump in to help you. The minute you grab me and I think you're bringing me down, I'm gonna punch you in the face as hard as I can. I'm gonna swim back to safety. I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna call 911. And then what happened? I'm like, I jumped in to help him and he started trying to drown me too. I'm out.
What's been your secret to sales? How have you been able to consistently land massive deals with huge clients over all these years? What's your secret to selling in a competitive industry?
Why do you think most people struggle with sales?
I don't think they believe in themselves.
That's a good answer, because that's part of it. And then that lack of belief causes them not to work hard. The biggest thing I want to sell people is belief in themselves. You give me a product, if people need it and I believe in it, I will sell it. I don't give a shit what it is. It doesn't matter. If you go sell these shoes, I'd be like, are they good shoes? Damn, I'll sell them. Sell the shirt. I'll sell that shirt off of your back to him. You can build the belief in yourself, but people don't want to work hard. The greatest thing for your self-image by far is work. That's the greatest thing. So weirdly enough, I became really good at sales because I called more people. I wasn't going to take no for an answer. I wasn't worried about being judged. So I didn't think it was that competitive because most people won't work. I always tell people, when I started making money, my friends are like, yo, you think you're better than us, behind my back, obviously. And I'd be like, I don't think I'm better than you. I just want more out of life than you. I'm not any better than you. Hey, sadly enough, you could do exactly what I'm doing.
Number 3.
I'm about to interview one of the richest men in all of Florida. And in fact, he has a net worth of over $500 million, $500 million. It's Ben Mallah, one of the most renowned real estate entrepreneurs in the entire world. He owns hotels, apartment complexes, buildings all over the world. So I'm gonna go up to his house, we're gonna meet him, and we're gonna interview him, figure out how you can start creating wealth and becoming wealthy through real estate in today's world, even if you don't have a lot of money. So let's go meet up with Ben and go see what he has to say. Come on. Look at this place, you guys. Like I said, this is a $20 million mansion. We got our guy Ben out here front. He's got the Rolls Royce, the Ferrari. This place is insane. Ben, what's going on, my friend?
How are you? How are you?
It's good to see you.
Drive by.
How you doing? Thanks for
Pretty
having
good.
us out.
Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming.
It's good to see you, sir.
What's going on?
How you
How's
doing?
everything going?
Doing well. This place is incredible.
Is it?
Yes.
And it all could be yours, baby.
Yeah?
Just pull out that checkbook.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking about today, right? We know that you became successful, accumulated hundreds of millions of dollars of wealth through real estate. We want this to be a master class. I want this to be the best real estate interview that I've ever done in my life.
Just remember, I'm the master and you're the student.
That's correct, and that's why I'm here to learn from you.
Very good.
So can we get into things?
Let's do it. Let's rock and roll.
Amazing. Who am I here with today?
You're here with Ben Malla.
What is your net worth?
On paper, it's close to about 500 million.
Did you come from a lot of money?
No, my family was dirt poor. My father was the ultimate cheapskate too, besides being poor.
And for those that don't know, what industry did you decide to pursue a career in?
Real estate.
How long have you been in the business?
I started in my early 20s and I'm in my late 50s. You do the math.
So what was the turning point getting into real estate?
Real estate is probably the most common way any human being can make money. Why? Because you need it. Everybody needs a place to live. Everybody needs a place to work. Everybody needs a place to shop, right? I mean, it's essential. At first, we were just into affordable housing, and then we moved into retail, and we went into hotels. So we're all over the board now.
So you're buying hotels?
We've bought and sold, I couldn't count how many hotels. All over Orlando, Tampa, on this side of the bay, all over.
How do you get the money to buy hotels?
It's just like buying anything else. The hotel's making money. You go to the bank and you say, okay, I want to buy this hotel for this price. They look at it, they appraise it, they say, yeah, it's a good deal at that price. They're going to give me 80 cents in the dollar. Maybe the hotel is 75, but with me, they'll probably push 80 because they really want the loan.
There's a big misconception in today's world that you have to have a ton of money to start creating wealth in real estate. Do you agree with that? Or do you think you don't have to have any money to get in the game at all?
Listen, everybody's on a different level. You got to get in where you fit in, okay? At first, I didn't have any money. And the first thing everybody has to learn is you have to borrow money. If you ain't got no money, you got one choice in life. You borrow it. There's no other choice.
Where's the best place to borrow money from?
The bank.
But is a bank going to give you money if you don't have capital? How do you get money from a bank?
Okay, listen, if you're just starting out, there's all kinds of ways. My first deal was a VA loan. VA loan, you go up to 4 units, 1 to 4 units, and you get no money down, baby. All right? But let's say you weren't in the military. Then you got to go FHA. FHA is 3.5% down, 1 to 4 units. You know what that means? That means you can buy 4 units. The 3 units will pay all your bills, and this one here, you live for free at a minimum. Or if you really get lucky, you'll get cash flow too. Depends on the buy. It's all in the buy. You got to buy it right. That's what real estate's all about. Setting yourself up to do the deal with the money for the bank and finding the right deal. Everything else is common sense and you can pay people. You know, you got all kinds of tools in real estate. I use lawyers, I use brokers, I use bankers. You're just basically putting all the right pieces in the right place.
So let me ask you this, because I want to talk about debt real quick, because a lot of people are terrified to take on that debt.
Ooh, I don't want to borrow any money.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But
well, you'll never fucking grow.
Yeah.
Pardon my language.
No. Hey,
Okay.
we
The
can
point
talk.
is, if you don't borrow money, all right, I go out and do a deal tomorrow for, say, $10 million, right? Simple deal, $10 million. I put 2 down, and the bank puts 8. Who's taking all the risk? The bank. And yeah, are rates high now? Yes, they're higher. But you really got to worry about the rate being, whether it's 4, 5, or 6, or even 7, then that probably ain't the right deal. You got to have a much bigger cushion than that in profit to worry about paying the bank, 6%. If I borrow $1 million in the bank, that's 60 grand a year in interest. That's 5 grand a month. That's when you got to figure it out. The deal's got to make sense. It's all in buying the right deal and having a plan for that deal.
Are banks still lending money in today's world at the same rate that they once were?
Banks have to loan money. That's how they make money. If they don't loan money, they don't make no money. A bank has only worked what the loans are. Now, if the loans go bad, that means the bank's worth less money. That's when we have opportunity.
So how did you
And
leverage?
that's what we're waiting for to happen right now.
How did you leverage debt to build wealth?
Listen, the first thing you gotta do is get pre-qualified. If you don't have nothing, but you gotta have a job, come on, you gotta have some kind of income. The easiest first way to get in the door is doing FHA. And if you're a younger person, you don't buy a house. You buy a duplex, a triplex, a fourplex, something that generates income and provides you with a place to live. So this way, you don't have the whole burden of all the bills being on your shoulders. And later on in life, you get the house. It's all, everything is steps in life.
Throughout your career, what was the most amount of money that you made in a single year?
We don't really go by the year. All I can tell you is I sold a package for 90-something million not that long ago, last year. And that was a package of properties. I sell deals all the time. I sold a $34 million hotel and only paid 17 for it. And the money it cost to fix it up, we did spend $6 million on fixing it up. But you know where the money came from? The operating in a hotel, not my pocket. The hotel was making money the day I bought it. Fine, take all the money the hotel's making and pump it into fixing it up. All right, and then we flipped it for 34. We've done a lot of deals like that. We do them all over the board. We don't care.
What is the best piece of real estate somebody can buy in today's world?
The best? Depends on how much money you got. If you're really on the very top and you're really in the big world, big boys, like all the guys you run into all the time, data centers. Why? Because It's the future. It's a concrete building with a bunch of shelves in it filled with computers. And companies will rent that space from you. They'll stock their computers in it. You gotta have enough power to keep it cold. Data centers is the new future in real estate because computers are only gonna grow, always. You can't live without computers anymore. Clouds and everything we do is run into a data center. So, I think data centers are the top of the game in real estate.
I've never heard that before.
That's what's going on in real estate. That's why I'm in real estate and I don't know what you do.
Yeah.
But anyway, everything's good. Everything's good in real estate.
Right.
It doesn't matter what real estate you buy, as long as you're buying a good deal.
But let's say somebody has $100,000.
$100,000.
That money's put to the side. Where would you park that in
The
today's
safest place is always going to be residential income property.
like multifamily?
Yeah, like a 4-plex or an 8-plex or a 12-plex or whatever you feel you can handle, and where however far your money's going to take it. If you got $100,000, you need to go get pre-qualified because $100,000 will get you $500,000 property with a $400,000 loan. So that's what you can do with $100,000. You go out and leverage it up to $500,000. Now you're going to go out and find a building that you can buy for $500,000 that can be turned into a building worth $700,000 or $800,000.
Will you sell that building eventually?
Or refinance it and keep it. Refinancing is a non-taxable event. All the money I get was from refinancing. When I sell a building, I don't touch the money.
So you
It has
refinance.
to roll into the next deal, baby.
Yeah. So you refinance, you get the money back that you put in, and then you're making money continuously.
You just keep rolling. It's the way they set up the system. Our system is set up in the right way for people to grow. You just have to apply yourself, and you have to find the right people to deal with, and you got to get in with the right people that are doing it.
Now you got an incredible house out here. This is a $20-30 million mansion out here.
Stop saying 20.
30
20 was 5 years ago.
$30 million mansion. Could we go up and check it out? Could we-
Sure, I'll give you the nickel tour.
Growing up, did you think all this was possible? To be able to own a place like this? And
I mean, not when I was growing up. It came to me that this was all possible when I went to work for the guy that had all this. And that showed me, yes, it was achievable because he was smart, and smarter than me in some ways, but I was smarter than him in other ways. That's why we made such a good partnership. So I knew it was achievable when I hit about 25.
so you agree that you can only grow to what you've been exposed to?
That's a good one. You should write that down.
Yeah.
You might even be able to copyright and sell that.
I got you.
You can only grow to what you exposed to.
So I guess what was that mindset shift that made you a multimillionaire?
Stop partying. Stop worried about what everybody else is doing. Stop trying to have shit you can't afford. Get busy and get to work and have a plan that makes sense.
So was it all worth it? All the sacrifice?
Of course, because now my kids don't have to go through all the shit I went through. Yes, they earned their pay and they paid their dues, but now they don't have to go through all the struggles that I had to go through.
Do you own this house?
Yes, I own a house.
How do you feel about people that say that you should not own where you live and only own where other people live? How do you feel about that? A lot of people say that a home is not a good investment.
It's only what you pay for the home. If you're buying a home at a price below the market, how could it not be a good investment? And most people, the only investment they have, the average working person their whole life, is their home. It's a forced way of saving money and building equity. So everybody should have a home. And then when they get older, the home should be paid off, and then they own it free and clear, and they're sitting on a pile of cash.
Now, we're in the backyard of your $30 million mansion right here. I want everybody to see, guys, this is the most insane backyard I've ever seen. He has a lazy river in his backyard. What's your last message to
You
somebody?
didn't see the bowling alley.
You got a bowling alley in there too? What's your last message to somebody trying to own a place like this in today's world? They want to become
This
a
don't happen overnight. And did I really need this big place? No. Okay, but I was at the right time, at the right place, and me and the seller agreed on the right price. Okay, so that's what it was all about.
But beyond that though, like just one more message that you can kind of give to somebody where they want to build a substantial net worth in today's world.
You got to build it. You got to build it block by block and never stop. And as soon as you keep building blocks, eventually you're going to have all this.
But let's say somebody, they're constant failure after failure after failure.
Because the plan wasn't right. You got to have a plan. In real estate, you're not going to fail if you do your homework and you assert yourself in finding a deal. You're not going to lose, but you got to have a plan to follow that makes sense in real estate.
You got amazing advice, my friend. Thank you so much for having us out here. Where can everybody find you at who tuned in?
BenMalla.com. Put it on the screen.
Everybody go tap in with Ben Malla on all platforms.